Hi, Saen Higgins here. How to invest in tax liens. Hang on, put your seatbelt on. This is going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to show you from A to Z how to invest in tax lien certificate. There are so many things that I want to cover in this video. I want to make sure I don't skip any of these steps. Matter of fact, at the very end, I'll show you how you can get this accomplished so quickly that literally by the end of the next calendar month, you'll be on your way to financial success. So stick around to the very end and I'll show you how to do that. Before we get into all these things here, what I want to do is I want to talk about what a tax lien certificate is. First of all, tax liens have been around for over 200 years. It's a first position lien on a property due to delinquent property taxes. So once a property owner becomes 1 year delinquent on the property taxes, the county government can hold the sale. Now, you're not buying somebody's house. Let's just cover that right now. Not buying somebody's house. Basically, you're dealing with the county. See, the county is going to do 90% of the work for you. They're kind of like your workhorse, if you will. In return for putting up the money to the county goes, thank you very much. You take the position of the county. Okay, so you're going to get 12%, 16%, 18%, 25%, depending on what the prevailing interest rate. And this is locked in by law. Okay, so that's what a tax lien certificate is. Here's the key thing. When I buy a tax lien certificate, it didn't just sit there waiting. What if they don't pay? Well, if they don't pay, there's a time, there's a stopwatch, so to speak. Okay, what you're doing is you're buying the property owner time because you and I are willing to pay the county. County goes, okay, now that they've bought the tax lien, you've got 2 years, you've got 3 years, you've got 1 year to come in and satisfy these delinquent taxes plus the penalty. If you come in within that 1 year amount of time, no harm, no foul, the investor gets their money back plus the full interest rate. But if they don't, the investor can foreclose and take possession of the property, thus eliminating all liens and encumbrances, including a mortgage. Now, I go into the whole eliminating the mortgage in so much more detail and over there. I don't want to talk about it. That's just a fact. You got to understand that I own this market. I know more than anybody else. That's the point of it. High rates of return. How can the county do this? It's the law. It's the only leverage that they have out there. So the county is obligated by law to bring these up for sale. So once a property owner fails to pay their property taxes, they don't go, well, here's another one, put it up for sale. No. In the statutes, they say at this time during the year, bring them up for sale. So you need to know, when is the sale? That's the first thing you need to know. Number one. Number two, you want to know what's the redemption period. So how long does the property owner have to pay those once you buy the tax lien certificate? Okay. You also want to know how to get registered for the sale. So let's say that the sale at Waka Waka County, wherever that is coming up in June. So if the sale is, say, June 1st, all counties are going to provide the list of liens available no less than 30 days prior to the sale. Again, these are, it's all fair. They don't want to sneak up on somebody. Hey, dude, 30 days from now, we're going to sell the lien on your property plus the 18%. Come in and pay us now. Again, nothing really happens because there is a redemption period, but we're letting you know. Okay, so I go in there and I get that list. Okay, now I need to take this list and break it down. So let's say that there's 3,000 liens on this list. Say that there's 50,000 liens. Yes, there are counties with tens of thousands of liens. I need to break this list down in a comprehensive way that it's going to show me the liens that I want. Now, what kind of properties can have liens on them? Any property in the county. I don't care if it's a strip of land, a ranch, a commercial piece of real estate, or a single family residential property. Now, all of that's fine and dandy. If you're brand new at this, I'd like you to stick with single family residential properties. Why? Because we know what those are. Okay, so if I've got, let's just say 3,000 or 10,000 is kind of normal, 10,000 liens on a list, how do I eliminate? I don't want to research every single one of them. You don't have the time, I don't have the time. So I say, let's stick with single family residential properties in a dollar amount. So the next thing I want to do is I want to find out what the average price of a home is in that area. So let's say that the average price of a home is, say, $300,000. So I want to buy liens on properties between that $200,000 and $400,000 range, okay? So that, I'm just eliminating so much off of that market. So now I'm sitting there going, okay, great. So instead of 10,000 liens on here, now I'm down to 2,000 liens. Now I go, okay, of these 2,000s, which ones would I be willing to buy? Now, I've had people say to me, well, wouldn't I just buy one big fat lien, invest all my money, and I'm getting it all back? Yeah, you can, but that kind of goes against that adage of don't put all your eggs in one basket, okay? So I would rather go in there and say, okay, here's a bunch of liens on different properties for various amounts. 500, 1,500, 1,200, 900. They're all paying 18%. So now that I've done my research on these properties, I want to find out what the value of the property is, okay? So is that $300,000 legitimate? So am I going to do appraisal on each one of those properties? No, I'm not going to do appraisal. Remember, I'm buying a tax lien on the property. I'm not foreclosing on it. So if I'm buying a $3,000 lien on a property that's worth $500,000, or let's just say it's worth $250,000, I could be off by $30,000, $40,000, $50,000, and I'm still way okay. I'm buying a $5,000 lien on a $200,000 property that I thought was worth $250,000. Oops, I'm good. What I want to make sure is, does it have a structure on the property? Yes. Okay, is it something I'd want if the property owner doesn't pay? Because if they don't pay, that's my recourse on it. So now it eliminates a bunch more properties on there. Now, as soon as I get this list of all these properties, I want to make sure, not only identify the property, but I want to make sure I apply for the auction. So in other words, if it's a live or online, I want to go ahead and submit my paperwork on that. I'm going to probably have to issue my 1099 information. Is it going to be in my name? Is it going to be in my company's name? Is it going to be in my retirement account's name? So I want to get registered for the auction, whether it's online or not. Oh, and if it's online, you might have to get registered at the county and the online, because usually is the third party, like Bid for Assets or something like that, that's going to be able to sell that deal. Now, if I'm registering my LLC on that, that's okay, but I want to make sure I am authorized to bid for my LLC. Well, Sean, it's my LLC. They don't know that. So you might have to get what they call a proxy bidder on that. Okay, so now I'm going to sit there. I've set my budget on this. I've done my due diligence. I want to make sure that property is actually there. Make sure it's not burnt out. Make sure it's not falling down with a tree growing up through the living room or something to that effect. How do I do that? I'm going to get some visuals online. Before I go to the sale, I want to make sure what I'm seeing online is the same thing I'm seeing in person. Okay, those two properties are the same thing. In other words, Google took this picture, or whoever took this picture at X number. I mean, I got a property right now that, oh my gosh, it looks beautiful, but when you saw the pictures of it currently, it's amazing what they had done in a 5-year period to that property. Horrible. Okay, that's Spanish for horrible. Okay, so you want to make sure that. So now I've got all of these. So I get, oh man, here's 50 liens that I want to buy. I'm registered for the sale. I'm good to go. Now it's time to go make your move and start buying tax lien certificates. Sean, would it be worth my while to get on a plane and go do this? Yeah, I think so. Okay, I mean, think about this for a minute. If I'm buying liens on properties, the first thing I want to do is I want to see these properties. Now, do I have to do it that way? No, I can have somebody, I can pay a real estate agent and say, hey, I'll give you $300 to drive by these properties. Just take a snapshot. Everybody carries one of these in their pocket, a cell phone. Take a picture of that property, send it over to me. Tell me what you think of the property. That might narrow out some, or this is a bad neighborhood. How do you eliminate bad neighborhoods? That's a good one on there. Stick with middle-income families in that area. How do I know what middle-income? Just find out what the average price of a home and kind of stay in that gap in there. Not too low, not too high, and you're good to go on that. Okay? Now, I get to the sale. You got to figure out what type of a sale is it. Bidding down the interest rate? Is it fractional ownership? Do I do premium bidding? All of these things are a factor. You don't want to figure that out the day of the sale. You want to make sure you know exactly what's going on, because I'm investing my money and I want to make sure that I'm getting the most bang for my buck. Value of the properties there, high interest rates, everybody's good to go. Now at this point you're probably thinking, Sean, there's got to be a lot more that I need to know. And there is. In this short video, I just don't have the time to go through all that. Don't worry about it. I cover every single one, like the 5 biggest mistakes that beginning or novice investors, every single one of them, I cover in a brand new course that I've got out right now. It's free. It's free. There's nothing. It means no money. All you have to do is click the link down below, and I will give you the course. It'll methodically walk you from A to Z in tax lien certificates, exactly how to purchase them, exactly how to profit for you and your family. This is Saen Higgins saying God bless and good luck.